In part 1 of this video, we cover the basic parts of a hook, many of the common types of hooks, and what they're best used for. A link to that video is in the description for this video. The next hook is called a flipping hook. A flipping hook is a heavy gauge hook used for flipping or punching, two techniques used for fishing in very heavy vegetation or cover. These hooks have a barb or keeper near the top of the shank to hold onto the end of a creature bait or other soft plastic that are used for dropping into holes within heavy mats of vegetation. Flipping hooks have to be very strong because they're used with very heavy gear and strong line in order to pull a fish out of there. Largemouth bass like to lurk in shadows around thick vegetation or wood so they can ambush bluegills or other prey that swim by. Flipping hooks allow you to get a bait into those places. Keeper hooks have a special piece of wire coming out of the hook eye which pokes or screws into the end of a soft plastic bait. This holds onto the bait to keep it straight across the hook between the point and the eye. You just push and twist the end of a soft plastic bait onto this screw-style keeper and then put the hook through the bait. The hook point lays across the top of the bait and the keeper holds onto the end of it. A Kale hook is sometimes called a live bait hook, a Super J hook, or a shiner hook. These hooks have a very tight bend in them to keep a live minnow stuck on the hook. It's very hard for a minnow to wiggle its way off of a Kale hook because of this tight angle. Trailer hooks are commonly used on spinnerbaits. These hooks are attached directly to the original hook on a spinnerbait to catch fish that short strike the lure. It's pretty common for a fish to grab the end of a spinnerbait's skirt or trailer without actually biting the hook. Having a trailer hook hanging behind can help get those fish. The risk of these hooks is that a fish may grab the whole spinnerbait and then you have a trailer hook way down deep in the fish's mouth. Octopus hooks have the eye of the hook bent back, which allows you to tie snell knots. These knots wrap around the shank of the hook and allow for better hookups with bottom fishing rigs. Octopus hooks come in circle hook shapes and also the typical J hook shape. Snelled hooks are pre-tied hooks that are tied with a snell knot and have a leader with a loop on the other end. These are usually connected to your main line with a snap, but you can also use a double loop knot. A Siwash hook is used to replace treble hooks with single hooks. These hooks have an open eye so that you can attach it to a lure without a split ring. You just put the open eye through the wire on the bait and squeeze the eye closed with the pliers. Single hooks do less damage to a fish, and treble hooks are illegal to use in some places. Worm hooks have a wide gap and a long shank, designed for use with long plastic worms. The hook point is in line with the eye to allow for weedless rigging, and the sleek profile of the hook allows for the worm to glide well through vegetation or wood. Stinger hooks are positioned at the back of your bait, usually a soft plastic bait or live bait. It acts like a trailer hook, catching a fish that short strikes your bait. Stinger hooks are sold as complete units, or you can just add them yourself by simply tying a hook to a short piece of line and tying that to your existing hook. A death roll hook or slow death hook is a specially bent hook that causes the hook to rotate when slowly trolled along the bottom of a lake or river. It's commonly used with half of a nightcrawler and must be used with a swivel in order to prevent line twist from building up. Death roll hooks are sold as just hooks or as part of rigs that already have a leader, swivel, and sometimes a spinner blade. Jigheads are hooks with weight built into them near the eye. They come in all kinds of colors, styles, and weights. Jigheads allow you to keep your bait near the bottom, they give you more casting distance, they can add color or eyes to your bait, and they can even help you fish on the surface with floating jigheads. Spinner blades can also be added to jigs to add some more flash and vibration. I like blades like these ones that have a fish scale pattern or a diamond pattern stamped into them. Check out our video on fishing with soft plastic swim baits and craws for more tips on using simple jig heads and soft plastics. Thanks for watching, we'll catch you next time.